All right, so what we need to do is when we hover over this, we need to show the display of the information here. So in order to do that, I'm going to just create a placeholder with certain fields in it. So let's jump into our inventory, and we're going to go outside of this UL, and we're going to create a new div with the class of weapon, or rather item stats. And here we're going to create a different rows, and text on the right-hand side. So how we're going to do this is just create div class row highlight. And then in here, create the stat span first. So span class equals damage. Pull right. And then below that, just type damage. And we're going to actually need to create rows. So div class row. Now I'm going to make sure we can make this look right before continuing. So I'm going to save and reload the page. And I'm going to now position this. So item stats is going to be position absolute. It's going to be right 0 pixels. And then bottom is going to be about 50 pixels. And that's just in the main container here. So the main container, let's say height, calc 100%, or rather 100 view height, minus 50 pixels for the navbar top. No, 80, 90, 120, 40, 50, 60, 70. There we go. Right about there. So tab pane full needs to get that property. And now let's continue styling this. So item stats, it's going to have a width of 300 pixels, a height, well, the height will be determined by the content. So let's jump back in here, create a new class, item-stats. And then save this, and in our inventory we need to add inside of the row div class call-12. And this is to remove the additional margin that's being applied by the row. So now I'm going to save this, refresh this, and I'm going to inspect it, and there we go. So each row is actually going to have a little bit of margin on the bottom. And let me put a placeholder damage in there just so we can start getting it looking right. I'm going to inspect this. Let's call this a div. Pull right should be making it pull right inside of that. Let's put that in a span. A div class pull left. Save, refresh. Still looking like that. Let's update this to a div. Refresh. And it's not pulling left. Did I get this wrong? I think I'm still using a Bootstrap 3 class. Let me check. Bootstrap for pull right. All right, pull, and then the size. So pull LG right, pull LG left should do it. Or XLG because it's extremely large. Still not working. All right, let me just create my own pull right class and pull left class. So down here, pull left is going to be float left important, and pull right is going to be float right important. Save, refresh. Now we've got to look in how we want, except the actual, yeah, that's okay. Awesome. So that's how we want it to look. It needs to have a background kind of like this down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get the footer background color. I'm not sure where it's grabbing that from. Active. It should be on the navbar class. Let me have a look here. Okay, it's this color right here. So we're just going to use this. We're going to say, what is it on? It's on item stats row. Let's go way down to the bottom. Item dash stats row call 12. Whoops. Background. There we go. Save and refresh. There we go. That's exactly how we want it to look. Maybe make it a little bit smaller. So let's say 250. There we go. That looks a bit better. So what we need is a row for damage, ammo, and all these. And ammo is always going to be set to a static amount because we don't actually have ammo. However, you could extend this if you wanted to. So let's go ahead and copy right from here. I'm going to copy for ammo, fire rate, range, accuracy, weight, and value. And what we're going to do is we're just going to update one of these. That one's going to be ammo, and it's going to be set to 500. Fire rate. Range. Accuracy. It'd help if I typed that accurately. It's not necessary though. Weight, and we're almost done here. Value. And what we're doing is we're setting these classes right here so we can target them to update the value inside of it. So I'm going to save this. We're going to refresh. Now we're going to add a bit of margin underneath each row. So back over to our CSS file here. We can do it actually right in the column. So margin bottom, say 5 pixels, save and refresh. It's a bit too much, so let's say, yeah, 52, that'll look right. There we go. Now if we look over here, it looks kind of correct. We don't have the plus and minus, obviously we're not going to do that here, but you guys can if you want to. This needs to be a little more narrow actually, so rather than 250 pixels, let's set this to 200. Refresh, there we go. So as we hover over each item, we're going to get the stat of that item and populate them here. So in our JavaScript file, and we might do this in the next video, we most likely will, yeah. Let's do this in the next video, guys, just to keep this one a bit shorter, and the next one is probably going to get a bit long on its own.